All right, so one big theme is video. Video has been growing for many times, forever, and video is absolutely becoming the main format, which has lots of implications for the industry at large and for people like us, obviously, for companies like us. So that would be one trend, the rise of video becoming the main way advertisers do branding online. Another one is connected TV. It's becoming a very hot topic as well, because the broadcasters have a huge share of their digital inventory, which is actually served on the TV set. So what's called OTT or IPTV or connected TV, depending on the market. So that's another very hot topic in general on for us. And then the machine learning and artificial intelligence. I mean, it's everywhere, obviously, and we use it a lot as well to extend the depth of our models on our detections, as well as predictions. So it's absolutely more important than ever in the industry to work with data scientists and engineers and have deep and advanced machine learning capabilities.
Okay.
Right. So let's talk about viewability first. So viewability until recently has been seen as a binary topic where it's either viewable, non-viewable, but people have started to actually challenge that, starting with brands, challenging that a 1 second ad or display ad or a 2 second video ad can have any impact. And actually the research shows that a 2 second video ad has no impact. So everyone is moving beyond the binary, viewable, non-viewable approach to viewability. So now it's about time in view, exposure time, how much time have you seen, how much of the ad have you seen, and actually even the TV industry is looking into evolving their GRP to take to account for how much time of the ad has been actually seen. So for viewability, that's one thing. So going beyond the binary, viewable, non-viewable. Also, we see many in the industries, especially on the sell side, ad networks, publisher partners, actually moving away from selling impressions, selling viewable impressions or time in view on a CPH basis, for example, cost per hour basis. So there's a whole range of trading practices which are evolving on taking us from an industry where we buy impressions to an industry where we buy exposure. It's changing a lot, and that's happening, and we are at the core of it. It's absolutely happening. The second one is about viewability, is tying to performance, because obviously the more an ad is seen, the longer an ad is seen, the more it works, be it for branding or performance. All research shows that there's a clear correlation between both. So people are starting to work, and we help them figure out the link between viewability and performance. So that's one thing for viewability. And then yes, brand safety, very important, because digital has become the #1 medium for most advertisers in most markets, Western markets. So it's absolutely a top, there's a lot of spend with digital. So it's becoming a very important medium from a budget as well as performance standpoint. And at the same time, digital has challenges with brand safety, because digital allows you to access a long tail of websites. There is content that is not moderated. So there are brand safety challenges which need to be tackled for the advertisers to really take advantage of the medium. So it was critical for the largest advertisers in the world to be able to have brand safety controls in place with companies like us to make sure they can invest in digital with confidence. And then one last thing on brand safety is it's evolving right now. So we are at the beginning of a shift from a negative brand safety focus, i.e. targeting away from damaging content, porn and racism and fake news and all those negative content. So that's been this topic until now. Now it's shifting from doing this because it's necessary to continue to do it, but at the same time focusing on brand suitability, which is which context is good for my brand. You might have travel working well for you, but maybe leisure not working well, or I'm just making it up. But so going beyond brand safety, i.e. negative content, to what contexts are right for my brand. And actually we are releasing the findings, and we'll release a full research next week about the role of context and the impact of context on performance, on how ads are being remembered, and there's a huge impact. So that's good news for publishers, and that ties to maybe one of the topics we're going to talk about, which is how premium content and premium context plays a big role in how the ads are remembered and how they are effective. So we are pushing towards what we call brand suitability, which is allowing brands, buyers and sellers to account for that context. Yeah, so effectively what we see in the industry among the people selling advertising digitally is that there's a big competition between the platforms and the walled gardens or the platforms, Facebook, Google, those people, those companies, Amazon, more and more. on the publishers, broadcasters, originally print publishers, all those people. It's a big battle. Obviously, the platforms takes a lion's share of the industry right now, and publishers are struggling. They are just struggling. There are many publishers for a very tiny piece of the marketplace, and that's true across any market. So they are really struggling, and they're working with us to actually be more competitive and differentiate themselves. And one way to differentiate is through quality of the content, and we talked about context before, quality of the exposure time, everything, where they have a competitive advantage over the platforms. Platforms are about big numbers, but they have a hard time sometimes getting people long enough on the page so that there is quality exposure. So that's where publishers can fight back. Also, brand safety is an area where usually they have a better grasp on brand safety and can offer more safety to brands. So they are playing those cards right now, and one way they do it is by banding together. So yes, in France, the publishers have banded together, initiated a quality seal for websites, which is called Digital Ad Trust. And now there are about 95, or actually more than 100 now in the latest edition latest batch of sealed sites, where they meet viewability, brand safety, fraud, usability, and user experience, and privacy criteria. And whenever they meet those 5 criteria, then they are being certified. So it's been there for a year and a half. It's starting to work well. They're seeing the impact in terms of the revenue. So it's absolutely starting to work in the industry to differentiate from bad sites. So we see that, and actually there are similar initiatives in Italy, for example. IAB has combined forces with the publishers and the buyers, the agencies, to create a similar quality seal as well. So we see the industry creating such collective initiatives to fight back, essentially, against the platforms. And what it means for publishers is that they need to have the data, they need to have the reporting, so they need to measure their inventory, and beyond measuring, more and more they equip themselves with optimization tools so that they can dynamically manage the campaigns based on predictive data, like what we offer to publishers and broadcasters. Well, I think the issues or the goals are similar because the situation is the same in every market. Now the solution, the collective solution might be slightly different. As we've seen, Italy has a slightly different approach to it than France. They did something slightly similar, but not exactly the same. In Spain, hopefully and probably something will come up. And we encourage publishers to do something about this collectively. But nobody knows how it will be set up. It will likely be slightly different because it's a slightly different market. So while the goals and the challenges are the same, the solutions might slightly differ. But yeah, we anticipate that something will happen around maybe a quality seal or something like that, yes. Well, first it's investment in products and in machine learning and artificial intelligence, new investments to go deeper in understanding the meaning of page and the quality of the context. So we are making that investment right now. We believe that tomorrow brands will want to define in a custom way what their suitable context is beyond brand safety. So it's like an additional layer to maximize the efficacy of the advertising spend. We are releasing the findings of a piece of research. So we have preliminary findings this week, and we will release the full research next week, with the results of which show that there's a very strong correlation between the context, quality of the context, and the efficacy of the advertising, on favorability and memorability and all aspects of the ads. So it has a huge impact. So we are here to help brands and buyers maximize and leverage that very strong factor. So we are making the investment right now, and tomorrow we're going to release these features, and they will be available for our buyers and sellers partners. Yeah, mobile video are like one device and one format which are growing the fastest. So what it means is that as the audiences and ad spend shifts to those environments, we have to be able to measure and optimize in those environments. So our clients, buy side or sell side, are demanding that we measure and optimize as much as possible of those environments. So this does create some specific challenges. So for mobile, for example, we pioneered the Open Measurement SDK, which ultimately became an IAB project. And so that's kind of happening, and now all the industry is implementing the solution. So it's an industry-wide solution. It's the first time we have an industry-wide solution to that problem. And on video is a little bit less advanced. So right now the work is on enabling VAS 4.0, which will be a very positive and strong evolution. But not everyone in the industry has adopted that new standard yet. So everyone in the industry, including us, is involved in making that happen. on making it the industry standard, which will facilitate everything for everyone, but that's still in the works. On the next frontier is to make that vast work in the connected TV environment. So potentially the Open Measurement SDK on this kind of concept will apply in all those new environments, and that's going to be groundbreaking, but it does take work because the whole industry needs to rally around them. So we are absolutely involved in those industry forums, and we push all our partners and all our customers to follow and to support that initiative, because it will be good for them actually. So that's the core of what we are solving. The number one issue or need we are solving is making sure that the ads are seen on long enough so that they have an impact, are seen by humans, because if they're seen by a piece of software, there's no value, of course. And finally, they are seen in a brand safe or brand suitable environment. So those are the basics of what IAS does for our clients. And we do that for buyers, sellers. We do that programmatically and non-programmatically, and we do that on platforms as well as in the open web. So we maximize coverage, and one of our key goals for our clients is to make sure they can measure as much of their media plan as possible. And so yes, that is at the core of what we do for our clients. Yes. Yeah. So transparency is a wide term which covers many specific, different definitions. So one way we tackle it is to provide visibility into where the ads have been running, from a quality standpoint and from a URL standpoint. So we verify where the ads have been running. So that's how we contribute to the transparency thing. Second, we work with partners. We are on a boat where IBM is also involved and MediaOcean. And we have multiple pilots with those guys in participating in blockchain projects. So we don't use blockchain ourselves because that doesn't work for us, but we participate in blockchain projects and where people use blockchain to buy and sell media. And we participate in this because this is probably the way to trade in the future. And we absolutely want to be involved. So those blockchain projects usually there's a big component of it, which is transparency, business transparency, financial transparency. So we are participating in those initiatives, and we absolutely believe that's going to, one, increase transparency in the marketplace, and second, be the way of the future. So we are participating in those pilots. Yeah, so fraud is, so there is a scale issue with fraud, and it's a very complex and very elusive phenomenon. So to really tackle it, you need scale, and scale means data, lots of data. So IAS, Integral Ad Science, we measure about 10 billion ads a day, so it gives us the largest footprint in the industry. And as you know, when we talk about data on machine learning, and we talk to that in a second, the more data you have, the better the output, because this is the raw material that actually fits into the models. And the better the output, the more data, the better the output. Now, to also succeed, to maximize the output, you also need very strong models. So we've always had a very strong data science team at IAS. It's at the core of what we've been doing since day one, 10 years ago, because the company is 10 years old this year. And we've always had data scientists, but we're making a huge investment in expanding that team, expanding those capabilities, and that applies to brand safety, brand suitability, as well as fraud. The goal is to be able to have the most accurate possible fraud detection in any environment, be it connected TV, be it app environments, mobile environments, desktop, web environments. So we have to detect that, and we do that. So we are making this big investment. Yes, machine learning and the artificial intelligence are absolutely critical with the amount of data, the size, the scale, to maximize the accuracy of the output data that we share with our clients.